Fellas, what you do out there, man? That feels like it was like a 5 minutes, man. I was sitting back here and trying to figure out what to say, what to do. And I was like, man, yo, I was getting text messages from the guys at the gym. I threatened this dude earlier today, man, and they just text me and apologize. But that's neither here
You
nor
threatened somebody.
yeah, man. I got fouled, and I went for the rebound. The kid pushed me in the back, and I was like, "Yo, man, don't do that shit no more." And I guess his mentor, who was out there, teaching him how to play ball or whatever, was like, "You got to get in the weight room." I said, "Motherfucker, I'll bench press both of y'all." I mean, like, I'm not from Raleigh. I'm not a local guy. I'm not a local Simpsonville guy, so don't get me twisted with these other guys. And he's like, I'm just saying, maybe he's playing ball. I'm like, nah, don't talk crazy to me, man. But that's neither here nor there, man. I don't play that mess on the basketball court. But yo, how y'all doing out there, man?
This nigga right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you was we got Stacks, Merv, and apparently the spirit of Kwame Brown is in here. I don't know how that happened, but okay.
Mark, you know how it is, man.
Why you choosing violence on the basketball court, though, man? I thought you were just hooping.
Man, y'all know. No, look, he should never said anything. If he never said you should get in the weight room when the guy clearly fouled me, that wouldn't have triggered my PTSD on the basketball court. You don't just say anything like that, right? You don't trigger a person, a player of my ilk on the basketball court. All right. I got titles, man. I got trophies, man. I got skins on the wall. I got pelts on the wall, man. You can't do that to me.
Whatever hard foul you remember when you were 10 still carries the day.
It carries, It carries.
I fouled the projects when I was 10, son. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of fouls, since we're on this topic, man, we used to hoop back then. That was one motherfucker. He had tenacious defense, but he fouled the shit out of you. I ain't gonna call Merv name. This motherfucker, hey. I'm trying to tell you, man. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think being that he played college football, when we was young, football was a sport. He tried to bring that shit to the basketball court. Like, dude, you can't tackle me and like
Nicky P
while I'm driving to the lane. That shit is not cool.
Nah, hey,
yo, I can see that.
I had that Lizzie Hunter defense on them.
I knew that was coming.
That's not even that. That's not that good though.
Fuck you talking about? Lizzie Hunter played good defense. Fuck you talking about?
Yeah, for average, yeah, but not against a player like myself who can actually score at will. Mark and Merv, remember that time? Matter of fact, we played in a league together at one time in Columbia. You remember?
Yeah, that's when when Philip locked you down.
Yeah, yo, Stacks. One game, I think I hit like 7 for 7 threes, and Merv came to me at the end of the game. He said, "Man, I didn't realize you was that good of a shooter." I'm like, "Yo, man, get off my nuts, man. Like this, let's play next." I didn't know Merv at that time. I said, "Man, get off my nuts, man. Let's play ball and not worry about me shooting 7 for 7. This is what I do, man. Beat it, cocksucker." And I kept it moving.
How many of y'all motherfuckers believe that?
Shit.
Yo, fellas, let's get into it, man. First of all, shout out to the crew, man. Shout out to the guys. You got the 4 horsemen back in full effect. Shout out to Becca. Shout out to Tina B. Shout out to the street team general, Tayson. Shout out to all of our listeners. Shout out to those who are on the front line and on the back line. Shout out to Blackjack TV, Blackjack TV Prime, as well as Zingo TV channel 199. And shout out to Mile High Radio, Facebook, YouTube, and everybody that rocks with us every single week when we come out here to do what we do. So with that said, fellas, it is officially the summer, baby. It's getting warm. It's hitting 90 degrees this week. I feel great. You know what I mean? We're getting the sun rays on my skin. Huh?
I thought someone started in June.
So, Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial.
Memorial Day weekend is official. Yeah.
What?
Memorial Day is officially the summer, man.
What does it say on the calendar?
Killer Flex, Merv. It doesn't matter.
Memorial Day marks the unofficial beginning of the summer season. Just so you know, I know you ain't be the type of motherfucker that argue technicalities now.
Right?
Are you?
Right?
Is that what you gonna do?
Right.
What?
Right.
I'm just saying summer yet.
Yo,
Well,
first of all,
like Memorial Day, officially starts cookout season. You know what I mean? Even though we've been cooking out long before that, officially, it starts on Memorial Day.
Yes. Yo, shout out to Killer. That name Killer Flex. I want that name, man. I'm gonna change my name to Killer Sean or some shit. Like, I love the Killer Flex name, man. Shout out to Killer Flex, man.
That is hot.
Killer Flex is family now, man. That's Nikki P's husband, man. Shout out to Killer Flex. Yo, good evening. Thank you, Shakina. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Becca in the building. Yo,
doesn't he know Rebecca? Everything. He can't help it. Everything.
Everything. So, fellas, Memorial Day weekend is upon us. Hopefully, we don't have anybody out there posting pics of a new grill. Because people do that during the time of the year. They post pics of new grills, but yo, look at my new grill. I'm about to grill out. So I hope nobody does that. But with that being said, Stat, what you got planned for Memorial Day weekend, man?
Hey, I like the segue. I like what you did there. I like the segue. But last week, I went and bought my big boy toy. What was that group that said you ain't got these? That was the what was that with the shoes and shit like that? Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody got this. I'm fucking with the Master Built Gravity Charcoal / wood smoker / grill. Merv, I like the look of hair. I like when a hater comes through. You see the look of the that's the look of the hater right there. I love it. That's what I was born for. That's exactly what I. Hey, niggas like you that had that look on the face when I posted that shit on Facebook. Because let me tell you, man, it got 3 rolls on it. I put a brisket on that bitch, hamburgers galore and all that shit, man. I was gonna call up the homie to help me put it together, but he probably was gonna be hating the whole time. So I ain't call him, man. I'm putting the shit together by myself. Took me all day. But if you're on my Facebook page, you already know that. Go check it out, man. It's the 1050 model. They got a 550, but you know, I mean, I aim high like the Air Force. I had to get the big boy shit.
Yeah, so, got the Bentley of grills.
What?
He got the Bentley of grills, man.
Bentley of grills, man.
Hey, yo, Mark, you seen it? You
seen it, though? I've seen it, though.
Merv, keep that energy. I like it. You see that shit?
We all see it.
Hey, I answer for Merv. Must be nice.
Must be nice. OTT. It must be nice.
Must be nice.
Yo.
Hey, and one more thing. Believe you me, I'm burning on that motherfucker on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm throwing everything that can go on that motherfucker is going on there.
Yo, I hope you burn every piece of meat that you put on there, where it's not edible. So, yo, shout out to KB. KB said he gonna be in Myrtle Beach over the weekend. KB, yo, hit the fellas up, man. Merv got some people. Merv is stats from Georgetown. Georgetown is a hop, skip, and a jump from Myrtle Beach. So make sure you check in with those boys before you get to Myrtle Beach, man, so they can make sure you're safe out there. And get at me too. I make sure you're taken care of out there, man. We get you take care of in Myrtle Beach, man. So holla at your boys.
Tell KB bring some barbecue, y'all, man.
With the eye.
Y'all mean KB, the barbecue king of New Jersey, man.
For real, man. KB. Yo, if you in Jersey, please make sure you go and stop by KB's joint. KB, if you out there listening, drop your joint in the comments so people can see where you are, so they can support your brother. That brother doing some great things out there.
Support black business. I love it.
Support black business.
And they got that good barbecue up there.
Absolutely. Yo, so Shakina said cook at her house.
And
where you at, Shakina?
She's the best girl, man. To be a female. Hey, you I know you grill better than goddamn Stacks. You know why? Because you ain't bragging about your damn grill.
Facts.
I like that. You know, I want you to hate the whole show like this, man. I love it. If you like it, I love it. Hey, but his ass to come through. His ass to come through and get a plate though. He ain't got no problem doing that. He hating.
He'll eat too. It should taste good or not.
Yeah, this shit ain't all that. You know what I mean? Real low meat on his plate.
Right.
Everyone who's watching, Kyle just put down. KB just put down his the website to check out. Where he's at in Jersey. Please make sure y'all check out our brother KB.
What is that? KBS barbecue, some
smokehouse.
Smokehouse.com.
KB's barbecue smokehouse.com.
Yes.
KB Smokehouse, gotcha. Yeah,
support that brother. If you're in the Jersey area, if you're in the tri-state area,
yeah, definitely.
Tri-state area, check out that brother.
Hey, Cave, you got hash? Shit.
Hash.
Goodness,
what the
fuck?
He's watching Harlem Nights again. No Mom Murder.
Yeah. He's watching. Yo,
what is wrong with you, man?
They cook out all year round.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know in North Philly, I mean, they cook out all year round. It doesn't even matter if it's snowing.
Georgetown?
Town.
Shakina said she's from the town, but she live in Sumter. Yo, be careful like Sumter, Merck City in the
Merck
house.
City in the house. Shit.
When you mix Georgetown and Merck City, I don't know what you get. I don't even know what you get. Yo, that is a dangerous combination. Shout out to Sumter, man. Shout out to Merck City. Shout out to Georgetown, the town, man. Yo, class of 94. Okay.
Oh, all right. Class of 98 right here.
Yeah.
That nigga somewhere. Hey, Stacks, you class of what?
What do you mean? What I am remember the greatest class ever graduated from Georgetown High, class of 97. I graduated the year before you. How you gonna ask that? I graduated the year before you, nigga. Like you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but you failed 3 times.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Hey, nigga,
if you add the kindergarten, I'm 13 for 13, motherfucker. I mean, don't do that. Don't do that.
Crazy, man. Hey, Mark, what you got planned for the weekend, baby? Hey. What you doing at
man, shit, I mean, cook out the Platte, baby. I mean, so we gonna be up there, whole car show. You know how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So the car show gonna be happening. Everybody got the grill out, big ass speakers, music. You know what I mean? The kids gonna be playing, you know what I'm saying? The drinks, you know what I mean? Everybody got their drink going. You know what I mean? If it's a big ass cloud, the weed is there. Trust me, just walk to the cloud, you know what I mean? Everybody share, man. So it's all love, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm interested to see, you know what I mean, this car show, you know what I mean, going on, man. One of my partners, you know what I mean, hit me up. He was just like, I got some new heat. I ain't even put it on the street yet. I'm putting it out there on Sunday. I'm like, yeah, that might be major. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting to see all of that shit.
Mark, you got some baddies showing out tonight, man, out there over the weekend. You got some baddies out there with you?
I mean, shoot, all of that's going to be in play. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, that's why they put the tents up. You know what I'm saying? So if something could happen, you know what I mean? Put the tent up or whatever. I mean, people got to get their wham on. I ain't mad at it. You know what I mean?
See, notice how Merv goes from hating to like smiling. He's very intrigued right now. That's what he's intrigued right now.
I like that. Listen,
anything that deals with scumbaggery, he's all ears.
When one of the homies say, "Yo, hey, Mark, can you watch the kids real quick?" I already know what's about to happen. You know what I mean? The quick wham, and it don't take that long. You know what I mean? In the park with everybody there, quick wham, about the 5-10 minutes. That's it. You know what I mean? Go have your fun. I mean, Uncle Mark got the kids. Y'all know how I do. You know what I'm saying? But don't stick me with that damn ice cream truck, man. I spent like $100 on all them damn kids. They were just running up to the truck. I'm like, all right, got you. You know what I mean? Put some money, cash out before you do that
shit. Facts on TT. Facts. He said, slap some masks, wham, and send them back to the streets. That's Mark's mantra. That's his motto. Mark gonna have a shirt like that.
That's his motto. That's officially his motto.
Absolutely. And Nick said, "Be safe out there, Mark, because the Mark in the streets, man. Mark is safe. Mark is covered, man. Shout out to Philly though." Yo, Merv, what you got for us, man? Yo, Merv, he got some oil sheen in his beard, man. You all right out there, man?
You got Soul Glow, the beard version of some shit going on there? I mean, what's going on? So you shine a little bit.
They got like a little glistening on it, man. Damn. Yo, before the show work, that shit.
You got oil sheen in your beard? Isn't that serious?
Is that serious, man?
Y'all just mad because someone approached me.
Yo, Mo, what you got planned for the weekend,
go ahead on my motherfucking beard, because you got an old baby ass face, Sean.
Ooh, yeah, damn.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, you can't do that. Nigga, all you did was rub cheekbone.
Goodness. Yeah, goodness.
What you got for the back of the weekend, Murray?
Hey, goddamn beard gang niggas. Hey, I got the best beard. I got the best beard in this motherfucker. Fuck y'all talking about?
Actually, Mark does.
Yeah. Now, I cut mine off. Mine's more like a goatee type situation. So Murray has a real beard.
Mark ain't got no cheek hair.
You know what I mean? No, I cut it off, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Murray.
Yeah, you cut it off because it wasn't coming in right.
No, it was coming in right. You know what I mean?
Hey, Mark, grow your shit out, man. So you can shut Murray the fuck up, man. Please do that. Please do.
Right.
And I was big beard gang for real, man. My shit was all the way out here.
Hey, hold up. Ladies. Oh.
Yo, what is wrong with this dude, man?
Yeah.
Yo, what you got planned for the weekend, man?
Hey, but Memorial Weekend, what I'm doing? Hey, I'm doing what I'm normally doing on holidays. I'm house hopping.
There you go.
Hopping,
there you go.
Hopping. I'm going to just find out where the fuck either the grill at, the food at, or where the bitch is at.
Hey yo, I'm gonna give him a compliment though, Sean. He's consistent as fuck.
Very consistent.
He's very consistent.
Very. Yo, someone said Mark need to go out that Philly beard. Mark, show him, man. Mark,
I had it, man. You know what I'm saying? I just, I ain't going back to it, man. You know what I'm saying?
We don't believe you. We need more people.
I believe him because them motherfuckers was taking their beard serious up that motherfucker, man.
Wait, motherfucker, I had a beard at fucking 13, mototherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Shit,
right. Tell him, Mark.
You know what I mean?
Merv, you off that. That's new shit to you.
My bad.
Tell him, Mark.
You had beard since 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit, that's how I was able to get in the club, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't get my beard till I think like 2021. So you just started eating pussy before I did. That's all.
Oh my god.
That nigga started young.
Hey, you know what?
Bro, we can't edit. What are you doing?
What?
We live. We can't edit.
We cannot let. Hey, Mark. Hey, Sean.
Being recorded.
Sean, get this shit under control. We cannot let these two niggas at the bottom go wild like this. We can't let it go.
Bring it back in.
Hey. Sometimes the hair got to get milky. That's all I can say. Sometimes got to get milky.
Hey,
I don't,
you know what I mean?
I don't even know what that. I don't want to know what that means.
I'm appalled. I'm appalled at this point.
Hey, Mark, and then after that, you go up, and what you said? Hey, kiss my beard.
All right, yo, I'll be right back. You got it. All right, you got it.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Yo, man, let's get into some trending topics, man. We got to get out of this because Mark and Merv, man, they're starting this whole after dark special too early, man. And you got Shakina out there saying all vitamin D's. Good grief, man.
There you
go.
Oh my god.
When you mix Georgetown and Sumter, you get a comment like this.
I think Shakina was a senior when I was a freshman at Georgetown High School.
With no fucking shit, nigga. Do the math. You graduated 94, nigga. Of course you was a fucking senior when you was a fucking freshman. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm trying to remember the name. I'm trying to remember the name or whatever. So I'm slowly developing the name back.
And we got so far to go.
Hey, man, I don't like you, man. Let's just get the shit out open, man. I don't like you. I just don't.
Yeah, no one does.
That's how I'm feeling right now. That's how I'm giving it up tonight. I don't like you like that, man.
No one does. So, yo, is that what's wrong? OTT, you know what's wrong with him? I think we established that. That's why we talk. That's why Merv's the reason we got our main topics, but we get into that later. That was established in episode 152 last year. Yeah, we just here for Merv right now. This is his therapy.
Oh shit.
So while we got everyone watching right now, shout out to everybody who's tuning in right now. The numbers are high, baby. Let's keep it going. Tonight we're going to talk about a very sensitive topic. We're going to talk about mental health in a Black community from a male's perspective. Ladies, if you are out there listening, although we don't have our representation of ladies on a call tonight, Becca and Tina, who's normally out here with us, rocking with us, we want to speak from a male's perspective, and we want to kind of give some ideas of some of the things that we have seen before, those who have we come in contact with, men who have shared their thoughts and sights on mental health and things of that nature. And we're going to share our sights on that tonight. So if you have a boyfriend, if you have a husband, this could also possibly benefit them, or also give you some tools and resources to be able to know how to navigate men emotions during the times when they're going through some mental anguish or some mental anxiety and things of that nature. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about some trending topics. I know Mark had hit us up early and said that he really wanted to dive into this topic right here with the homie. I'm going to kick it to you, Mark.
Yeah.
So
this guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? These PPP loans, right? Look, if you don't have a business, right, do not fill out this paperwork and ask for millions of dollars. This is going to end all bad for you, and it ended all bad for him. Now, I posted this in the group. 1 year of flossing, you know what I mean, in exchange for about 13 years in jail. It's no way that is an equal trade-off. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, listen, if you're gonna get the loan, right? If you already have a business, right? And you maybe get a little something extra for yourself, right? That's cool. But I'm just like, dude, you know what I mean? You got, you know what I mean, for iced out watch, chains, 2 Bentleys, a truck, like, and paid off the child support that you owe. What the fuck? I'm like, you think the government just ain't going to just be looking for your ass like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, people wilding with this PPP shit, and they taking people to jail. It ain't just him. Trust me. You know what I mean? It's a long list of people who just got locked up. I know a couple boys in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what? Oh yeah, yo, you ain't heard? Yeah, man. Feds took both them boys, right? For real? How many times trying to give them? Yo, they gave him 10 years. I'm like, damn. I'm like, man, listen, ain't no amount of money, you know what I'm saying? And they seize all your shit, and you got to pay restitution, right? So you don't got none of the money. You don't got none of the shit. You know what I'm saying? And you still got to do, you know what I mean, for 10 plus years. That's crazy. It ain't worth it, yo. If it's a PPP loan and you don't got a business, just leave it alone. Somebody was trying to talk to me about getting that shit. Like, yo, man. I'm like, yo, we already got rid of that business. What are you talking about? We got rid of that business in 2011. Yo, man, we could just bring it back and PPP that shit. Like, no. Like, nah, boy, nah. You can go to jail by yourself. I'm doing all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. So listen, man. No, everything that you think is free is not free. You know what I'm saying? Stop with the PPP shit. If you do not have a business, do not apply for this shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know what's funny though? I think if you look like some episodes back, I think Mark did mention that he had cats in Philly that were just flossing, willing to pay for shit. Like, hey, yeah, boy, I got you and the dude behind you. And now this shit is coming to fruition now. And my wife was telling me, she's like, they got a list out there of all the people that. Yeah. I'm like, man, I ain't concerned about that shit. But I mean, I guess it's public record. I guess who got the
It's public record.
I'm gonna say like this, right? Listen, right? When people got the STEMIs, all right, cool, I'm with you. When they got the PUA, right? I like, all right, I'm with you, right? Because I'm like, you don't got to sign nothing for that. All you gotta do is just be like, look, I don't got no money, you know what I mean? If I need some STEMI, I need some PUA. But this PPP shit, you actually have to fill out real applications. You know what I mean? For this is my business, this is what I need. Yo, I fell on hard. You got to do all of that. I'm like, yo, I think, you know what I mean, when we talked about the girl, you know what I mean, who started GoFundMe because she took out PPP loan
ain't that
like 30 grand.
There was a couple of them.
I need 30 grand to pay back the PPP. Like, what? Yo, shorty, you wildin'. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they taking your ass to jail. Like, they not playing. They locking people up. Like, I'm good.
They good. If they got that PPP, they got bail money. Fuck them.
Man, shit. Yo, man, listen, they seize your shit and make you pay restitution. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you getting that PPP, man, please, yo, listen, talk to those Wall Street guys who know how to hide money. You know what I'm saying? For maybe they can help you out, but you can't just do ignorant shit. You know what I mean? Think you ain't gonna get caught. You know what I'm saying? Just doing dumb shit. Stop.
Mark, let me ask you this, man. Does Merv have the look of somebody who would misuse PPP loan?
Absolutely. Facts. Yeah.
That's a face right there. If I ever seen it,
yo,
this face right here. This is a guy that will use the PPE loan and take advantage. And he's smiling for real. Yo, somebody get this dude up out of here.
This motherfucker is out of control, man.
Look at somebody who would definitely use PP loan
and
with that same smile.
And Merv, and if you get knocked, man, you got one phone call. And guess who you don't need to be calling?
I ain't calling your ass.
Right, right.
I won't be calling your ass.
Okay, you got good sense. You got real good sense.
Stacks of tattletale. Stacks of tattletale, man.
Hey, Stacks will be with him until they be like, yo, you know we're gonna take your smoker if you don't tell us now. Oh, right. Man, what you need to know?
I'll turn state 7 until his ass quit.
You ain't taking my smoker now. That's what you're not going to do.
You're going to do that.
I'll give him your government name, all types of shit, man. Your last 10 addresses. I'll let him know your daddy live at and all that shit, man. I'm telling you.
All of it. That's a no loyalty. Yo. Man,
I mean, full disclosure, man.
I don't know. When I hear those letters together, I just think about Jay-Z. It was like I give my lady's dick my young hoe's pee-pee.
Oh, yo, yo, we have to get sensitive training on anyone out there know that there's no anybody that can give some sensitive training to this dude.
Yeah.
That doesn't make that doesn't even fit the
I don't even know anymore. I don't know anymore, man. How long we got to deal with this, man?
What y'all talking about?
Good grief. Man, we got I'm sorry, ladies, I'm sorry. Yo, can we move on to the next topic or the next topic?
Shit.
So
yeah. Shit.
Shout out to the Meat Meal Killer on Drake.
Why would you go there?
I'm saying, Sean. That's very unnecessary, motherfucker.
All right, my bad.
That was petty.
Artist of the decade. Drizzy. Look at Drizzy, man. Look at Drizzy, man. Come on, man. Let's get Drizzy his flowers, man. Let's get Drizzy his flowers, man. Yo, Drizzy received the Artist of the Decade award, man. I'm not talking about the rap artist. I'm talking about artist period of the decade. And I've did some research on this, fellas, and I realized that list that he actually topped is a pretty decent list. You got Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, you got Rihanna, Adele, Ed Sheeran, you got Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, and who else down there? The banner is blocking it. Maroon 5 and Post Malone. So the boy Drizzy, man, aka the Meat Destroyer, aka Steal Your Girlfriend, aka the GOAT, the new GOAT of this new age,
aka Dirty Mac. Don't forget that.
And the Dirty Mac of the century, absolutely. He was able to pull off the feat of being the greatest artist of the decade, man. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all agree with that?
Well,
my bad, Nick J.
If we're going back to 2010, 2011, I mean, who else? I mean, he ran that decade. He was consistent. He didn't put out no trash. There's a lot of people that don't consider Drake a hip hop artist. I guess I just say artist in general. So I'm not gonna go the hip hop route. But his mix of rapping and singing, I like. His albums were dope. I don't remember him putting out a trash album like all the way. I don't think he has. Has he?
I don't think so. But I don't think that he's put out. He doesn't have a classic yet.
I'm gonna say it really depends on what you like from him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because Views was more singing than it was rap. So I'm just like, if you like that from Drake, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll enjoy it. But if you like him rapping more than singing, then it's just like, all right, I don't know if he has a classic. But if you just like Drake, the overall artist, though, I think you'll probably find a classic in there, because I would say a lot of people love Views. They love that album. That was One Dance, Controller, and all that shit. So they love that album.
I think that was also Mark, you said that's the album that he did the most singing on, right?
Yeah, that's when the singing really kicked in, right there.
I think that now he didn't have any bad albums.
No,
but the album that he did, they did mainly more singing than rhyming on, was one of the most criticized albums because people wanted to hear the hip hop version of Drake. So he haven't put out any bad albums, but he put out an album that was criticized only because they wanted the other Drake.
Well, and I think one of the last albums he put out, The God's Plan, you know what I mean, for that album that had you know what I mean, for Mob Ties and all that shit on there.
Yeah, that was
about Scorpion album. Singles off that shit. Like
that was Scorpion album.
That was like I mean, that's when Drake was in his bag. It was nonstop. He also had a couple records with Khaled, you know what I mean, for That's For Free and all that shit. I'm like, that's when he was on a tidal wave. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, motherfucker was everywhere. He was every fucking where.
Everywhere.
They played that album not like nonstop. You know what I'm saying? So even if people didn't like that album, there's a whole bunch of motherfuckers who did. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, so if anybody who says he doesn't have a classic, I was like, you might want to check with that album before you say that.
So when I say classic, I'm talking about in the sense of a really classic album. Like, I don't think Drake has hit that classic album yet. I think it's still to come. I'm talking about, when I say classic, I'm talking about in the sense of a universal classic. We've never said that any of his albums have been a classic. We said they were really good songs, really great albums, and really great output. Drake has had a tremendous run this past decade, tremendous run, but he has yet to have that signature classic album. Like, people say Kendrick Lamar classic album was Damn. They say I think Pimp the Butterfly was another album. I
got to Pimp the Butterfly, his classic album.
Yeah, they talk about Damn and Pimp the Butterfly.
I got to Pimp the Butterfly.
Yeah, you got it. But I'm saying
I got Damn over that.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people say Damn was his signature classic album. Shit want
to pose a surprise for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, it want to put a surprise. So I mean, if you think about that in that sense, Drake hasn't established a classic, hands down universal album just yet. He's had some great stuff.
Drake album?
Say it again.
What do you think his best album is? Or what's your favorite?
Oh man, I think Scorpion was good, man. It was a dope. It was a double CD.
I was saying something I'll probably have to look up, you know what I mean, just to see, what everybody thinks, you know what I mean, for what his classic album was. But I know, you know what I mean, for that God's Plan album, I mean,
Mark,
I say they played the whole album. I'm like, I've never heard, you know what I mean, for like where, it didn't matter where you went. You could any city you was in. I'm like, Drake, all the records was there. I'm like, that's nuts.
Yeah. Kendrick had 1 or 2. I would give you that. I can argue Kendrick with 2.
2 classics?
I would give
Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City. You know what I mean? A lot of people.
Right. Me personally, I wouldn't give Kendrick a classic album just yet, but I can understand somebody giving Damn a classic album, or even Good Kid, Mad City.
Damn and Good Kid, Mad City would be. That's what I'd say.
I can definitely see that.
He had 2.
Yep, I can definitely see that. But Drake, I think that's debatable. That's my opinion.
Well, here's the thing, you know what I mean, with Drake. I mean, not only does he do his own music, he's on every goddamn
right.
Everything.
Like,
I mean, he's on
the feature king
record. Like, so I'm just like, even if it ain't his record, he kills somebody else's record, and then you think it's his song. No, it's this other dude's song. He just coming in. So I was like, and you got to think about how many feature killers are there. It's not a whole bunch, even when you go through the eras. You know what I mean? This dude just showing up. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the few that shows up on everybody else's record, and you know what I mean, just hits that flow. So I was just like, man, shout to everybody who was able, because there ain't that many. And I was just like, man, I guess, after his era, you know what I mean, this newer era, it would be the Baby, who's like on everyone's record, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to see how he does, you know what I mean, over the next few years, to see if he's following in Drake's footsteps, you know what I mean, is being that, you know what I mean, feature killer, you know what I mean, like Drake has been.
Yep, absolutely. So again, let's give Drake his flowers, man. I know Drake is on. He can be hated, man. People hate on Drake, but I've always been a Drake fan. I always thought he does some great things out there. So shout out to Drake, aka the Meek Slayer, aka the artist of the decade. So let's talk a little bit of NBA playoffs, man.
Call ARF. There you go.
ARF is in hell, man. He can't do nothing.
Oh, he still gets the calls, man.
ARF got 75 years, man.
He still gets the calls, though. You know what I mean? That's what's.
He got 75 years, Mark. He ain't doing nothing.
Man, you must have never heard it, you know what I mean? For real, stuff that goes on behind the walls and then hits the streets. Like, don't worry, that's another conversation.
Man. He better break some lot while he out there. Yo, shout out to the Philly for the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Y'all killing it right now, Mark. Playoffs is in full effect. You called it. You said I was gonna come through, but them Brooklyn Nets looking dangerous. What y'all think about the playoffs so far, man? Any surprises? Anything crazy?
Yeah. I mean, for the Clippers, I mean, laying an egg. I mean, they're down 2-0, and the Mavs have made it look very easy. I'm not surprised the Mavs won, but in the fashion they've won, they've made those games look easy. Like, I don't even know this JV team we're playing. You know what I'm saying? That's how they made it look. They making them look real bad. And Luka is really destroying these guys. Luka looks like a young Larry Bird. I'm not even lying. He looks that good.
No, that's fair. That's a fair comparison.
Yep.
Larry Bird in his prime was the fucking man. Like, I mean, Larry Bird was a walking triple-double every single time. Even against Magic Johnson, was one of the greatest ever.
A little more athletic. But I think Clippers, this shit started downhill when Clippers hired Tyronn Lue after they fired Doc Rivers. From anybody that has talked to me, that they remember my conversation, I thought it was a bad hire. Mm-hmm. I think he was the assistant coach on the team under Doc Rivers. So I don't know if they were looking at maybe the same thing happening with that Cleveland shit when he was the assistant coach, took over a team they won a championship. But he took over a team that was number one in the fucking East already. The coach they fired was going to be coaching the All-Star game the very next goddamn week.
Black.
He was on a stacked team with Braun. Like, I'm not a basketball person, but I could win and coach that fucking team that year and made it to the fucking finals. Tyronn Lue really need to have his fucking paycheck to LeBron every time he gets fucking paid. Because him being this hot coach, commodity, in my opinion, comes from Braun and that Cleveland team.
One more thing. Huh? Oh, one more thing. I thought it was Doc's fault. You know what I mean? Right. Philly, you know what I mean? And Philly kicked ass all year. Oh, Doc's fault. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's what they fucked up at. They should have brought in a coach with that experience, different philosophy, and change up. They needed a change. They basically just got like a JV version of Doc, and he's not making any adjustments against Dallas. He's not making any adjustments. So that's
and matter of fact, you know what I mean? One more thing. The Clippers paid a guy, Luke Kennard, who was supposed to be a sharpshooter, you know what I'm saying? Like $65 million. He hasn't even played 1 minute in the playoffs. I don't understand how you pay a guy $65 million and he don't play 1 minute. And he's like the best shooter on the team.
That's Tyronn Lue, man.
I don't get why that happened.
The
shooters will open up. The shooters will open up for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
Well, not only that, y'all. Clippers just made some bad offseason moves. They're really missing Lou Williams right now, my opinion. Lou Williams giving that spark off the bench. And they're missing a really good role player, and we appreciate y'all for just letting this dude walk, Montrezl Harrell. I think that those guys were important. When you have certain chemistry and stuff like that, guys that can give you that certain thing, and they're not there anymore, that kind of throws it off. I think that they actually took a step back. It's bad. I hate the fact that Paul George said, we're down 0-2, but it's no cause for concern. Y'all lost those 2 fucking games at home, guy. What do you mean there's no cause for concern? What are you talking about? And Luka, For all intents and purposes, man, that guy, I mean, he's just a fucking ball player. The thing is, Luka is not an athletic or fast cat. His game is so methodical.
Skill.
It's just silky smooth, man. And it's wild the way that he just plays the game right. It's fundamentally sound, and that's me and Merv discussed this. When you got a boy that's been playing with grown men in professional leagues over there in Europe, that matters. That's why he's doing these cats dirty right now. In the NBA, I don't think they're going to get swept. But they are in trouble, despite what Paul George saying. And another thing is they really don't think that Kawhi is living up to the billing. So I say if they go out, especially in the first round, blow that shit up, man. Blow it up.
You got to. I agree with all of you guys. I have a slight different take though. I don't think they're missing Chicken Wing Lou. I don't think they're missing him that much because I think. Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're missing. I think Tyronn Lue's rotation is horrible. You don't have Serge in there enough. You're not even bringing Boogie in there on some sets. You're not allowing Rondo to play in a rotation. I think that Tyronn Lue is leaning too heavy on Pandemic P and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi had 30 points in the first half, and I think he had like 4 points in the third quarter. It's because he probably got tired. I think Tyronn is really leaning on those guys to carry this team. Tyronn, I think Stacks and I were talking earlier today. We were both saying that Tyronn benefited from having a really good team in Cleveland. You know, he had Kyrie, he had LeBron, he had Kevin Love. He had guys who can put the ball in the basket, and he leaned on them heavy. He didn't use a rotation at all.
And he had a coach on the floor.
And he had a coach on the floor. And keep in mind, he also had a good assistant coach as well. When old boy was there, had a really good assistant coach. Right now, Tyronn Lue, he should never. Like Merv said this a long time ago, before they even hired him. When they were talking about hiring him, Merv said they should not hire Tyronn Lue.
I remember that.
Ty should not be the coach for the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers even needed Doc Rivers. I think they needed a coach who was going to instill discipline, because those guys are not disciplined whatsoever. They needed someone that's going to respect the coach and is going to play the right way. They needed a coach that know how to play the actual game of basketball from a position of rotation and finding weaknesses in the actual other team. They haven't found no weakness in the Mavs. The Mavs has really owned the Clippers since going back to last year. They owned them.
Yeah, Luka has bad matchup. That's their worst matchup.
Luka loves seeing the Clippers.
Love seeing them because it's a really bad matchup. You can probably put Serge Ibaka on him, and you can throw Boogie at him, and I think they can slow him down, because he's not going to bat Boogie down and shoot over top of Boogie. He's not going to do the same thing to Serge. But you got to keep throwing players like that at him to take him off his game and make the other players beat him. The difference with the Mavs right now is they're shooting lights out, right? They're shooting like a 66% or something like that from the daggone three-point line. That is tough. That is very tough to overcome when you're shooting like a 40% or 30%. You're not going to match them. So you got to chase them off the perimeter, chase them off the block, chase them off the three-point line. And the Clippers are not doing that. They're playing to max, and they're not taking it serious. Undisciplined.
Agreed.
And another thing, Kawhi Leonard. I think somebody asked Tyronn Lue about why Kawhi Leonard is not playing Luka more, and he was like, "Well, I think y'all gonna get what y'all asked for in Game 3." Nigga, how you waiting till an interview question and then be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that more in Game 3."
Right.
Like, you didn't think to do that in Game 1, Game 2. Now let's be clear. Let's be clear. Luka is the type of player you cannot stop him. So I'm not saying that. But damn, put your best defensive player on him to make it more difficult for him to dominate or to score. Make him work for these baskets. So how the hell you don't put someone that's the nickname is the Claw? He's supposed to be one of the best defensive players in the league. Why would you not have him against the best offensive player?
They were on them to some degree during that game last night, though.
Huh?
They were on they had a little graphic that said he scored 14 points on PG and Kawhi. When PG and Kawhi was guarding him, it's combined 14 points. So it's not like they weren't playing them all. But I think the point is that just slow them down. You got players out there that you're not going to like stop. You can only hope to contain them, like the late great Kobe Bryant, right. Michael Jordan, players like that.
Yeah, that's why I put the disclaimer. It's not to stop them, but you put Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a better defensive player than Paul George.
Well,
so what I'm saying, you put Kawhi on him to make it more difficult. Like he's scoring at will right now, and Beverly is a very scrappy player, but Beverly ain't big enough. Beverly ain't big enough.
Right.
He's bodying Beverly. He's not fucking quick enough.
Hey man, you know what I mean? Like one of my old coaches told me, like, listen, the guy gonna get 30, make him take 30 shots to do it.
Exactly. So my thing is, you put Kawhi on him, tell him no switching, and you shut down everybody else. He's gonna get his fucking points. Put Kawhi on him, shut down everybody else because they concentrating so much on him. Like Sean, I think that was Sean, might have been Stack. Everybody else is getting great fucking shots. And they're burying them shit.
I have a question, and I don't want to give Tyronn Lue an out, but could it be he's not playing Kawhi Leonard on him so much because defense takes, you got some coaches that be like, we don't want you to be the primary defender because we need you to score that 30, 35 because you have players that they will not have them guarding the primary offensive threat because they need them to get those buckets on the offensive side. You're
not going to keep them on the whole game.
Right.
This is like I'm saying, with Simmons guarding Bradley Beal in the series that Philly's in. He's on him some of the time. He's not on him all the time. Because I'm like, it takes away from his playmaking, his rebounding, and things like that. And I'm like, you need Kawhi to score 30 points. You know what I'm saying? You need him to do so he can't spend all his time defensively trying to guard Luka.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You got to show him different looks. But whatever Tyronn Lue is doing, it ain't working. And you know what I mean? What Sean was saying, you got to make adjustments when shit don't work. And Tyronn Lue is very slow to make adjustments right now.
And y'all bullshit. They might need to give him that Steph Curry type defense. So then they could come across the half court. Double team, triple team, that motherfucker get the ball out of his hands.
Hey, you know what? I was just like, man, make somebody else beat you. I was just like, look, when the Lakers was winning chips with Shaq and Kobe, right? What they do, they were just like, look, man, we ain't letting Shaq get the ball. We gonna front the post and all of that. You know what I mean? Derek Fisher hit like 7 fucking threes. You know what? If Derek Fisher hit 7 threes, then you gotta live with it.
You gotta live with
and
that.
If it was me, you know what I'm saying? If Tim Hardaway Jr. or Porzingis, you know what I mean, they get 28 points, hey, man, so be it. We ain't going to let Luka, you know what I mean, just tear us up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening.
Absolutely. So, man, we'll see how this thing play out. Man, playoffs is here, first round. We see some weird things happening. Clippers blow that thing up if it doesn't get past the first round. So they in trouble. I don't think they're going to make it, man. They may get a gentleman's sweep. But either way you look at it, they're in trouble. All right. So, fellas, man, we want to bring the people back, man. Let's get ready to get into our main topic, man. How y'all feel about that?
That's cool.
They're ready to get into the main topic of the night.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to put the banner back up, man. I want to kick it to you, Stats. I want to use your vocals, man, to tee us up for this topic, man. So talk to us, man.
Okay, mental health in the Black community. Mental health has always been a stigma, especially in the Black community, because we are taught. I mean, as Black people, we're built to last. We've been through so much. Since the Middle Passage, slavery, Reconstruction, even all the way up today, So we have been conditioned from generation that, hey, you gotta shake that shit off, be strong. But there's a lot of it's always been a topic that's been kind of ignored and put on the back burner in the Black community. much to our detriment. And this is why we get all these situations where maybe if the individual had someone to talk to or had someone to lean on, or they talk out their issues, situation could have gone better. And that goes with police shootings, incidents, conflicting incidents involving law enforcement, people of authority, and things of that nature. We don't talk about those problems enough, in my opinion. I don't think we never have, and it's evident as well as far as in the military. Sean will tell you, when you get in the military, you're expected to just, the mission is everything. They will try to say you some bullshit like, oh, your family, but I mean they will sell that, but at the end of the day, they want you to accomplish the mission. They don't care what's going on in your head, what's going on, as far as anything, as long as you accomplish that mission. And I think that everybody gets to a point where they need somebody to talk to. If you don't get that, whether it's professional or somebody to lean on, and you are like family members and friends and shit like that, if you don't have that person, that's when it's a powder keg, and it ends up exploding, and you might find yourself in a situation that you wouldn't be in otherwise if you had someone to lean on to discuss your issues, your demons, and things of that nature. So these are just some of the things that we're going to discuss tonight, and especially dealing with men. We are known for just holding everything that we have inside, and we get beat up on a lot by women because some of us don't know how to express ourselves. We don't want to let all of that out. We want to, I'm strong, I'm the man of the house and things of that nature, so I can't really show no chinks in my armor. But we're going to discuss that tonight because we want what we want. We want you guys to be vulnerable, and we want everybody to get some understanding, especially you may get better understanding about men that you deal with in relationships, men in your family and things of that nature, by just uncovering these deep-seated mental issues.
Indeed. So, Mark, how do you deal with just mental stress, man? Of course, you being in the city, man, it's a different type of stress in the city, man. How do you deal with stress out there, bro?
It's, I mean, for me, it's almost like, I'm like the hood psychologist or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it's shit that they can't talk about with anybody else because, it's shit in the street, like stuff that they're going to go to their grave with. You know what I mean? Same with me. But they still got to let it out, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, when you hold stuff like that in, I'm like, you will snap. You know what I'm saying? And you see it like all around the country where people hold stuff in and you just like, damn, you know what I mean? This boy really just went up in there, and just killed everybody. Like, yo, that really happens. You know what I'm saying? Because a boy held all this shit in and snapped. Or, you know what I'm saying? He just, kirked out, and you don't even know why that, that happened. So to me, I'm just like, you still gotta let it out, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, it's shit that they won't even tell their girlfriends, wives, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You would think, that's your wife. You could share anything with her, but nah, man, OG Mark, I can't talk to her about nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Not to say, she gonna run her mouth or nothing, but I don't even feel comfortable even telling that story to her. I talk to you, instead. But with mental health, it's tough. I mean, for me personally, when my phone rings, right, I'm actually nervous to pick it up because I don't know what stories coming on the other end of that phone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, I wrestle with it. I wrestle with it because it's just like, man, when you hear bad news after bad news, it's just like it will take a toll on you. You know what I'm saying? And you want to hear some good news. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to laugh. You want to be able to do this and that. So, like I said, man, like even if it's one good day, if somebody has one good day, you know what I mean, to start, and then see if you can have another good day. So where I'm at with it, let's get one good day, and let's try to do another good day after that, because it's just so much shit that happens. It'll just make your head spin because I'm like, in so much shit, it's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I don't get a chance to breathe. I don't get a chance to think. And when you go home and home ain't even home, yeah, it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I'm just like, man, I don't got all the answers. You know what I'm saying? And nothing like that. But I was just like, you know what? When I come around, we gonna get some chicken wings. We gonna have a drink. We gonna smoke something. You know what I'm saying? Because that might be the one spot out of a fucked up day that was all right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was just like me, I understood that because I seen my dad do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Where I can't change the course of this man's life, but at least, you know what I mean, for real, for that moment, we had a good time. That's what I try to focus on. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? Try to enjoy life in moments. And if you do that, you know what I'm saying, let some shit off your chest. I mean, keep that shit pushing. You know what I'm saying? But to bottle it up, though, some people bottle it up, especially our people. We bottle shit up. You know what I mean? Black men bottle shit up all the time. And then, you know what I mean, when they snap over it might be the littlest thing. You know what I'm saying? So just even, you know what I mean? Let me talk about Queens real quick. Like, listen, you can, you know what I'm saying, be talking to a guy, right? And it might be a dude, it might not, but it just could be something where you might correct them or something or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But just kind of ease into it. You know what I mean? Don't just go at it, yo, you was wrong, because you don't really even know what that man been through. And if he snap on you, you be like, damn, I didn't even expect that response. But that response really wasn't for you. It was some shit, you know what I mean, that already happened and kept happening. He bottled it up, and then he just snapped on you. So just ease into talking to people sometimes, especially if you don't know them like that. I mean, you might be okay with them, but you don't know them like that. Ease into, whatever you got to talk to them about.
Right. I want to go back and reference. I see something that Timothy put up. He put up 2 strong comments here, and he said, the couch is not a friend of the black man. We think it is a form of being crazy when we need counseling not to become crazy. And Tim also hit up with another comment right after that. This pandemic has definitely put stress on a lot of families, not to mention everything else we have seen. We need to break before we break. What you asked, Stacks?
I was going to say, I don't have an issue being vulnerable and things of that nature. I like talking about my issues as far as mental health, because it dates back to when I was in the military, and it's like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of tough because when you're in a senior leadership position, you're expected to hide all of that, but at the same time, because you have that stigma, if you have these issues, that makes you weak. They drill that in your head, especially in the military. But it got to the point where I had to go and see somebody, Fortunately for me, I don't have a problem going. I have talked to psychiatrists before. I think sometimes they make it mandatory when you come back from deployments. But I've literally told them, the whole truth, nothing but the truth about what I was going through. And my last assignment in the military, I was stationed in Kansas City. I had civilians working for me, federal employees, and I went to a psychiatrist and told them that I wanted to put hands on some of my employees. And she looked at me and she kind of started laughing, and I'm looking at her like this, like with a straight face. She was like, well, hold on, you serious? And I went on, I didn't even know that I talked to her for 2 hours about all the issues that I was going through with the people that work for me. Because when you're military and you have federal employees working for you, your hands are really tied. It's a lot of bureaucracy. And federal employees, damn, they got to kill somebody to get fired, to even get disciplined. So they used to always poke the bear. Even though I'm the supervisor, they're trying to poke me because it's easy for a military guy to get in trouble. Like if I say this to him and set him off or whatever. So I went to my commander, went to see a psychiatrist. I don't think we really fixed the issue. This was nearing my retirement. So I was almost out of there anyway, but it really helped to be able to talk for 2 hours to somebody about my issues. Now, since I've left the military, I mean, stress just don't leave. You always have something you're going through. Fortunately, you got the good, you got the veteran hotlines and stuff out there. But more fortunately, I have a really tight network as far as family and friends. I'll call up Merv as my sounding board most of the time. Believe it, I know this is probably going to be breaking news, but Merv gives pretty good fucking advice. I know you can't believe it, but this is coming from me. So y'all. I mean, I'm credible, so I'm gonna tell you that he gives pretty good advice. In situations where I'm a very emotionally, I emotionally react to shit. You know,
Yes.
Not to the point of getting charges and shit like that. But I'll call Merv, and Merv be like, "Yo, calm down. It ain't that serious." And I'll get upset because he'll tell me it's not that serious when it is to me. But he's done a good job of talking me off the ledge and shit like that. But a lot of people just ain't willing to share like that, even with their closest friends. I am, however, and I think that it's a case of people being embarrassed, thinking that people's gonna tell their business. But make sure you're talking to someone that you trust, someone that is close, because just getting those words out, that can stop you from making irrational decisions.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, Merv, what thoughts you have for us, man? We got some great comments in there. Nick was able to post an actual website that you can go to. It's therapyforblackmen.org. So again, if you're out there watching, if you're out there listening, it's therapyforblackmen.org. You can actually go and get some assistance if you need that type of assistance. So thank you, Nick, for posting that in the comments. And also Tim is spitting some knowledge out there in the comments as well. Tim just had a note that stated, that it also applies to the Black community. There is nothing wrong with getting help. Absolutely not. So if I get my spiel, I want to pass it on to Merv. So Merv, what are your thoughts, man? And we just talking about the initial of getting help.
Say the last thing again, Sean.
I just said we were talking about the initial phase of just getting help and identifying
the initial phase of getting help. It's a double-edged sword as a Black man in the Black community in general, but as a Black male. We were talking about
Shakina.
We was talking about yesterday. We did a show on the top 5 stand-up comedy shows, and one of the shows I picked was Kevin Hart, Grown Little Man, and one of his jokes was there's a lot of pressure being a man. Ladies put a lot of pressure on us. It was like they look at us to be the provider and a protector. So he made a joke of it, but that's on the surface and in the core, that's some real shit. And it's crazy because we done did a whole bunch of shows, whole bunch of podcasts, starting last summer. We done talked about a lot of different topics, but right now this is probably the most anxious or nervous or uncomfortable I've felt, because one thing about being a Black man, you're scared to be vulnerable because you don't know who's going to take advantage of your vulnerability, who's going to support your vulnerability, or who's going to actually help you and listen to you without criticizing you. So the other thing about the initial help is got this right here. Got this right here. Got this right here. You got this right here. So y'all probably wondering, like, what the fuck is Merv picking up empty liquor bottles for? But in the Black community, especially with Black men, that's majority of our therapy. That's our therapy right there. That's the therapy that we go to. Because the bottle is not going to criticize us. The bottle is not going to call us weak. While we having self-therapy with the bottle, if we have a woman, we don't have to worry about that woman calling us weak. If we don't have a woman, we don't have to be scared of maybe you holler at your homeboy and you're like, yo, nigga, just man up. The bottle ain't gonna tell you that. So a lot of times, us as black men, we go to the bottle, or we find a vice to initiate with to help us deal with that therapy. And we're like, I think somebody said earlier that we're known to be strong, like we're expected to be strong, and a lot of times we're so strong till we actually convince ourselves that we're strong and we're good, even when we're not good. We might never realize how fucked up we are at that moment. Somebody will have to tell us. So the double-edged sword being strong, because like this right here, check this out. It said the problem with being strong is nobody asks you if you're okay. That's a strong ass statement right there. Because as a black man, you're supposed to be that lion. You're supposed to be that lion. You're supposed to be that leader, the strength of the family. So that's where a lot of black men struggle with, admitting that, yeah, I need somebody else to be the leader right now. I'm going through some shit.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
About 3 years ago, I had a nephew that I raised like my little brother. He got murdered. He got set up, robbed, but he ended up getting murdered. I had to be strong for my family, for my sister and her husband. So like I had to write the obituary. I had to call an insurance company. I had to pick out the casket. I had to do it because my sister couldn't do it. Like I'm the youngest of my siblings, but a lot of times when things go wrong, I'm the one that's looked at to kind of keep it together. So I couldn't mourn for about 3 months. And then like one night, driving, someone came on, remind me of my nephew. Nigga just started crying in the car by myself. It's almost like that Jay-Z song. I got to make the song cry because I can't see it coming out my eye. That's another kind of a black man thing. And that's another real shit that black men deal with in the community. Like they refuse to cry. But after my nephew got killed, it took me 3 months to mourn. But a lot of people don't know this. I was up and down. It took me about 18 months before I completely got over that shit. And one of my homeboys like, yo, Merv, I think you're depressed. I cursed that nigga out. Some nigga, fuck you. What? Nothing wrong with me. Like over the next 5 days, I started evaluating myself. I was depressed. I wasn't working. I wasn't my production at work wasn't good. I'd be at work just staring at the computer. I'm at work. I'm able to convince myself I'm strong enough to the point where I'm able to go through the day by day and look normal. I'm strong enough to that point, but it's also a catch-22 because I'm so strong where I don't realize I'm going through some shit emotionally and mentally, and that's where a lot of black men we condition, like Stacks and Sean said, in the military we condition to be that way. So, you're talking about 18. He got killed like July 2018. I didn't come at peace or free till November 2019. I dealt with that emotionally. So and like I said, I was in a relationship, so I didn't have it was nobody I felt comfortable even being vulnerable or tell them the kind of shit I was dealing with.
Something
so
like that.
That's part of the black male in the black community. Give y'all a couple of different things. Pretty sure y'all wasn't expecting me to go kind of deep just now, but we talk about mental health, black community, and one of the other things we got that we have to improve or have to talk about while we're on here. When a black man is feeling down or he feels in a corner, like where should he go? Who does he have someone to talk to, or someone that he's comfortable with? So yeah, that's my initial thoughts when we talk about the initiation, the initial part of dealing with mental health.
Absolutely. I want to highlight something that Tina just mentioned. She said men have to find a good support system, like Stack says, someone you can trust. Don't be afraid to communicate. Men tend to shut down. I agree with that 1,000%. Timothy said, in my community, we were taught to make mental health look good by making things look like they are good, but it gets at our soul and spirit. And that's very important. One of the things Raven just said, what's needed is a trusted outlet. And all those comments are spot on. My take on all of this, when you're talking about the initial assessment of your mental health, I think a lot of times, in our communities, we always say, I'm not going to see no shrink. I ain't crazy. We associated talking to a counselor or getting counseling about being crazy. I remember when I first enlisted, I had people telling me that I was crazy for going in the Marine Corps. They said, man, Marines are crazy. You guys are nutso. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing all of that? And during that time when I was in, it felt like you have to be almost unstoppable. You could not be impenetrable. You could not allow any type of moments to leak inside your brain housing group, inside your mind, to make you feel that an enemy or anyone could penetrate you. So it created like the stigma of where you bottle things in. And the good thing about it is, I have a Wiz who knew me since I was a kid, like since I was a teenager, and she know that I bottle things in. I bottle my emotions in. I hold things in for a long time, and when it explodes, it comes out. But a lot of that is because I'm an internal processor. I process things internally. I may not say anything about it. I may not talk on it. I may not speak on it. I may just let it process until I'm ready to speak on it when I feel comfortable with speaking on it. And that is a different sign of dealing with mental anguish and mental stress or mental anxiety. And I realized that more and more as I got older, because I remember when I was younger, I felt like, someone who said that they needed counseling or they needed to see someone or talk to someone. I'm like, man, you're weak, man. You're a weak-minded person, man. Be stronger than that. You can overcome that. And my Wiz mentioned earlier, we were brought up to believe that, of course, prayer fixes everything. I'm a man of faith, so I believe that as well. But sometimes you also have signs. You have people that come into your life as vessels that can actually help you through the mental anguish that we go through. Like Nick just said, those type of comments stigmatize mental illness, particularly bipolar, schizophrenia, and other mental illnesses such as that. Absolutely. And I shared that part of what she just mentioned because I've seen it all. In the military, Stacks, we came across a lot of people that dealt with all of those different illnesses. We just couldn't identify it. In the Black community, period, we never could identify it because we will always look at it like, man, that person just wacky. That person got some problems. But the thing about that is we try to push it to the side as opposed to dealing with it. And, Stack said he has someone like Merv that he can go to and bounce off of things and be like a barometer to what he's going through. For me, I process those things to myself. And I typically bounce it off of my Wiz and say, yo, this is how I'm feeling for the past couple of days. And right or wrong, I need to talk about it in my own way. And it comes out like that because I still struggle today with being able to express something that I'm dealing with, whether that stress from work or stress for just, trying to uphold the household, if you will. And to me, I think that's one of in my top 3 of mental anxiety is as a Black man being the man of the house, being someone who's trying to provide for the family, where how do I continue to perform at a level, at a job or whatever the case may be, to continue to support my family? And that creates mental anxiety within itself. And we don't talk about it a lot. So again, kind of going back and summarizing everything we just discussed about finding the first avenues of approach to take when it comes to dealing with mental health. I think the first thing is to acknowledge that it is okay. Like Murph said, the empty bottle is not going to get anywhere because it's gonna be a cycle. It could open up the doors to other bad things that could potentially happen. And like Stacks mentioned, some of the things that he had to learn from himself and just identify the fact that I got issues. I may have anger issues. I may have issues where I may spaz out the blue. And like Mark was saying earlier, for him, having the young bulls coming to him and being afraid to even pick up the phone because he's afraid to hear bad news. And that's the thing that gets me too, because I'm afraid to get bad news because I don't know how to deal with it these days because we're always hearing bad things. I haven't had a sequence of great news that I can honestly say that we heard in the news or globally. Everything has been bad. And that creates, and only into our segue, that creates a form of PTSD. I, for one, used to look at people like, never say you got PTSD. PTSD is for veterans. Like I was naive. I was like, PTSD is for veterans. But when I retired and became a civilian again, I realized there are forms of street PTSD when you're seeing things that goes on out there and you're trying to cope with that. So Stacks, being that you was also, in the military, are you a person that believe in street PTSD as well?
Absolutely. Black people in general has dealt with PTSD via all of the traumatic experiences that we have dealt with. Now the bad part about it is that it's kind of like a generational curse because you go back to your grandparents, where a lot of family issues and stuff are hidden. You got rape, you got molestations and all that stuff, and those things manifest themselves in the mental health issues later on down the road. Whether you're a young kid, a little boy or girl that grows up in those type of environments. So definitely there's always going to be something that's going to be that trigger that takes you back to that traumatic moment. And everybody's probably going to be wondering, why the fuck are they flying off the handle? Like, what's going on? But since those stuff were hidden for so long, and we're talking here, that you got that uncle out there that might have, touched on, young kids, whether it be a girl or boy, and a lot of family members back in the day, they sealing that off. They ain't even holding the uncle accountable.
Right.
So you got more kids that's coming, and that thing, you have people legitimately can have stuff from when they were single digits that triggers them into their 30s and their 40s, and those are things that we don't understand now because we never dealt with the issues that led to the PTSD that we see today. So yeah, definitely it runs. I'd like to say it probably runs rampant in a lot of our community, in the Black community as a whole.
Absolutely. So let's talk about it, fellas. I mean, how do y'all feel about all of that? How y'all feel about just, not just the PTSD side of the house, but how do you feel about not, just in your family addressing it? Because again, I think it's a generation. It could be a generational curse. If your parents never discuss anything associated with emotional stress or mental stress or what have you, you're not going to be able to identify it yourself. You're going to hear it, but you'll be able to identify it. So talk to me.
No, you won't be able to identify it. Like I know me growing up, I could talk to my dad, what I'm saying, but I really couldn't talk to him early because he just like wanted me still to figure the shit out though. Like, what I'm saying? Like, that's what men do. Men now learn how to adapt, what I'm saying, and try to come out on top. So he wanted me to kind of learn my own way. What I mean? And I think it's kind of a gift and a curse, what I'm saying, because it's shit that he knew, but he didn't want me to do it how he did. He wanted me to figure it out for myself. What I'm saying? So I'm like, man, but it's tough though, because it's just like, you going through shit and you might have seen some shit, done some shit, you can't really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I know, everybody, probably went through that in their family. You might have seen some shit that you probably weren't supposed to see, or did some shit you weren't supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And you can't talk to nobody about it. That must be that is the craziest feeling. You know what I mean? And particularly if you're younger and you've seen some shit that happened in your family and you can't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because black family, that's grown folk business. You know what I mean? Where you don't speak on that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you have to process that shit by yourself. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, it's certain things like that. And my parents never pushed me one way or another. So even, you know what I mean, when I seen shit, just being out, just hanging with my friends or whatever, and just seeing shit, I talked to my dad about it. Your dad, what you think I should do? You know what I'm saying? Son, you gotta decide what you're going to do. He never made the choice for me. I like, this is what I seen. You know what I mean? And sometimes it be some horrific shit. Still, you know what I mean? You gotta make the choice. I ain't making that choice for you.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if that was the right thing or the wrong thing. I don't know. But the imagery and what came after that, sometimes, you know what I mean, you have a hard time sleeping at night. You know what I'm saying? Over that shit. And that was a little crazy for me, growing up.
I definitely think it's a generational thing. I'm not gonna I don't want to say it's I don't want to use the word generational curse. I don't want to use the curse word, but it's a generational passing, in my opinion, because the shit that our parents and our grandparents and our great grandparents went through, as far as like start with the slavery, then you got the civil rights era. To deal with a lot of that, you couldn't break down to get through a lot of stuff during that time. You had to be strong when you fighting racism, fighting segregation. If you're going on marches and they putting the water hose on you, you got people calling you nigger. You got so many things that our grandparents, our great grandparents had to deal with on just working to get equal rights, that they wasn't doing it out of ill intent or trying to dehumanize you. They was like, they talk to their family members, they talk to their kids. They'd be like, yo, you gotta be strong for us to get through this time. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna end up being we're gonna be able to vote. We're gonna be able to use any kind of bathroom. We're gonna be able to go in any restaurant we want. We're gonna be able to walk down the street with our chin up. But we gotta be strong. So I feel like that being passed down, that's in my opinion, that's where the trying to be strong and you can't let them be vulnerable. It's been passed down because of that. But now it has transformed to where it's being self-inflicted within our community, to where we don't have to be so psychologically strong with each other. We're still not comfortable with being vulnerable with one another, including your girlfriend, including your wife.
Facts, Nick.
Yo, and it's Mervin, to your point, it's kind of like when you're fighting for all of those rights our ancestors fight for, it's almost as if, okay, we don't have time to check mental health because we're so busy, like Nick said, we're trying to survive. So there's no time to be weak. There's no time to stop and talk about those feelings and things of that nature because we got so much going on. That mental health shit can go on the back burner until we get to where we need to be as a people. I think that's what I am, based off of what you're saying. That's what I'm getting from that.
Yep. Yeah. Yo, fellas, I want to go back to a couple of comments. I saw some really great comments, and I want to ask you guys separately different questions for these comments. I want to go to one that Tina said, little things like giving a man space when he comes home from work, or just asking how his day was his day was helps a great deal. I want to ask that question to you, Stacks. With you being married, Black love for the past 25, 30 years or something like that of your life. How does
19,
that
shit.
how does that comment resonate with you and your household? Because you can be, I'm sure you could be a difficult person to deal with.
Me?
Very difficult.
Merv, I'm not difficult to deal with, am I? And my wife needs some type of fucking metal or some shit like that because I honestly don't know how she deals with me, but real talk, she's a phenomenal woman. She gives me my time. She know I stress out about little things sometimes, so she gives me my space to unwind. You know, I got my man cave where I got my TVs, I got my video games, and that's the shit that kind of like brings me down, levels me out. And she's my peace. They always say a woman should be a man's peace. And I saw something very interesting on Facebook that said that if you are the woman that a man chooses to pour his heart out to and tell you all his issues, I forgot what the end of that was, but you take a bow because he really.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Merv. I think you might have it.
Yeah, I remember that. I had posted that. It said if a black man shows his vulnerability and expresses himself to you, you mean a lot to him.
Right. And to Sean's point, yeah, my wife, I'll tell her some things, and she was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm just telling you what it is. I mean, that's how I feel about it." And she'll talk me off a cliff on some things sometimes because I'm very reactive when I get emotional, very reactive. So she saved me as far as a lot of shit. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I got you see the PS5 in the background with the Xbox Series X there too. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the topic. But well, yeah,
you know hey, but you know what? Can't being a gamer be a form of therapy?
Absolutely. You know, motherfucker. Hey, Murph, I am a mass murderer in the video game world. So I mean, that's better than killing motherfuckers in real life.
Guilty.
Like Murph,
everything up.
And Merv, like seriously, a lot of military folks getting on video games and killing shit is a form of therapy, bro. Like, I can't go out there and fucking shoot up the place. So let me get in this game and do this, that, and it always shooter games. I'm a Madden, I'm a 2K, I'm a sports type of guy on the gaming thing. But yeah, it is absolutely a form of therapy and a good form of therapy versus the bottle, my opinion.
Absolutely. So, Murph, yeah. I mean, I'm going to go to Mark next. So, Nick posted a comment saying, being in constant survival mode. Yeah. And I know you talk to a lot of young bulls out there, and the younger generation is different. So, they're competing at a different level because when we were coming up, something pop off. We may have a conversation with each other before it happens, but these younger guys, they deal with mental health differently. They deal with it to the point where they'll push to the brink and the hammer's coming out. So how do you feel about that, man? Do you feel like we're being in constant survival mode?
I'm like, man, and you know what? And I would say some things are just learned behavior. Like, you know what I mean? It depends on, you know what I mean, for aware what OG, is actually talking to you or whatever, right? Now, I'll tell you a story, and this is when I had to be 19, 20 or whatever. And this is one of my older cousins, right? Now, my cousin just signed with Miami and family, we happy, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we all made it. You know what I'm saying? One of my cousins playing for in the league, like, we happy about it. And this was before Facebook. You would have, like, blog sites and shit like that, right? So during the season, my cousin would get in here and there sparingly, like, or whatever, but this boy was talking shit on a blog site. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading and he just, you know what I mean? And, we're going back and forth, but, he started trying to get personal. I'm like, leave it to the game. You know what I'm saying? So, or whatever. And my other cousin seen it. He like, man, yo, we should run down on ball, right? I was like, well, we don't know where he at. Like, You know what I'm saying? You on a blog site. You don't know where he's at or anything like that. So he like, yo, keep checking that blog site. He gonna reveal himself, you know what I mean, at some point. And he did. He posted a picture where he had tickets to this game in New Jersey. This is before Brooklyn. They were the New Jersey Nets. We gonna fly home and we gonna go get them, right? This is my older cousin. You know what I'm saying? He rallying the troops. We all flying up there to go get this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? As a young guy, you know what I mean? When you're not the leader, you're not like that. This your older cousin. You know what I'm saying? He's shot calling. You know what I mean? You falling in line. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we went up there, you know what I mean? We caught up with him after the game. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, cousin whooped his ass. The boy was scared, crying, pissed in his pants, the whole thing, right? And I just felt bad of what that guy had to go through. Like, I felt bad immediately. Like, I felt bad what he had to go through. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because it didn't warrant that type of response. You know what I mean? And then my cousin Mike, you know what I'm saying, was just, y'all went too far. Man. It was like one of those lessons you had to learn. You know what I'm saying? That didn't need to happen. You know what I'm saying? And right then I was just like, I gotta change how I move and who I'm surrounding myself with. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I went to Miami to be positive. You know what I mean? I got away from Philly to start, you know what I mean, something else to be positive. Like, why is you still involved in this shit? You know what I mean? This is like, you know, street shit. Like, why are you bringing street shit to this level? So, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I talk to the youngins now, and I can't save them all, you know what I'm saying? Because some I talk to outside in the world, and some I got to go to the jail and visit. You know what I'm saying? But I try to just show them a different way, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just talk to somebody, reach out to me. And if you can't get me, make sure you get somebody. You know what I'm saying? Don't just, yo, you know, I'm going to just snap. You know what I mean? Because Bull made me mad, or, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what I mean? I thought he was disrespectful or whatever. Because sometimes it be the littlest thing. You know what I mean? Especially with these young guys now, it'll be the smallest thing. You know what I mean? For real, to set a guy off. And I'm just like, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he talking shit. I'm like, you gonna let words have that type of power over you, man? You know what I'm saying? And then you got to point the examples of the guys who are locked up. You know what I mean? For real, you know, look what happened to Lil TT. He doing 25 years, you know what I mean? For real, because somebody ran him out. You really want to be where he at? 25 fucking years? Come on, man. You know what I mean? It's a better way to do it. You know?
Right.
But it's hard though, because I'm just like, every day you got to go through, because I've been one of them young guys who was on go. You know what I'm saying? And yo, you had to react to whatever somebody said. And now it's like when somebody try to get me out my zone, I just be like, yo, you got it. You know what I mean? You know, you got it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not messing my life up, or I don't want nobody who, you know what I mean, who care about me, who love me, to mess their life up over your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna be no on-go situation. You know what I mean? You know, and they be like, yo, OG, you know what I mean? Yo, what you want me to do? I want you to relax, is what I want you to do.
So I
You know
got a question for everybody.
Go ahead.
So Mark, I want you to think about when maybe the last time you was in a serious relationship where y'all maybe talked about stuff, joint stuff. If you've been in that situation before, so Timothy Wright put up a statement that sometimes we don't need space, but we need to feel comfortable. We need to feel comfortable being able to. There we go. He said, "I believe sometimes we don't need space, but want to feel safe sharing our problems with her without being criticized." That's one. That's one. Another one that I struggle with sometimes is I'm gonna give my point, and then I want y'all to piggyback and to have y'all ever been in a situation. So like the last relationship I was with, me and my child's mother was living together, and a lot of times in my past relationships, I'm able to carry all the burden. I'm able to hold it But Zay, my partner, they're warriors, and like if something bad happened to them, it's almost like, oh shit, it's the end of the world. Like, what the fuck we gonna do? So a lot of times I would not tell them stuff that's going on, because I feel like I'm protecting them from emotionally breaking down or emotionally worrying about how we're going to get through this. Like, for example, I was the breadwinner and I got fired from my job, right? But I also saw the writing on the wall, so I started interviewing before that happened. So I had a pretty good feeling that I'll be unemployed maybe 3, 4, 5 days max, but I never told her that. So I would wake up in the morning like I'm going to work, but didn't go to work, waiting for that call. I got a call. It was actually only 2 days. I was fired, unemployed 2 days, and got hired on that job that I was working on. I told her after I fixed the solution. I mean, after I came with a solution, after the problem was fixed. So I was told that I should have said something to her, even though she would have been worrying her ass off. So that's a lot of times I have that issue where I still take all of the load on me because I feel like I can handle it with protecting the person that I'm dating or who I'm with. Y'all have experienced that, or kind of, and maybe not in the same scenario, but y'all ever have that same kind of issue?
Merv, actually in reverse. A lot of my family members lean on me. I organize a lot of stuff that we do. I consider myself one of the, top males, that organize stuff, the responsible guy that everybody looks to when we doing something. I am also a warrior. So during this pandemic in particular, there would be some of my family members that would tell me stuff regarding their battle with COVID and stuff like that after the fact, or they would wait until they found out somebody was out of the woods and not okay to be like, okay, yeah, such and such had COVID. In January was a really rough month for me because my mother, she doesn't do that. When my mother gets the news, she gotta tell it. And there was a point in January, much like Mark said, I was scared to pick up my phone with my mother's number showing up, because literally it was a week where every time she called me, somebody that we knew had died or had gotten COVID or went into the hospital and stuff like that. And when you thinking about your own mortality along with the mortality of others, it weighs a lot on you. Because I'm a people person and I care about people. So when I hear that somebody's like really sick or went in the hospital and stuff like that, it worries me. So a lot of them started learning, let's not tell him yet, because we don't want him to worry. I think a lot of them know that about me.
Yeah, man. I would say
you know that about me.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I would say for me, my little brother was killed some years back, and his best friend, who was also like my little brother, was killed probably 4 years ago. Now, and I couldn't sleep well. Like, I just, I couldn't handle that, because I literally was just talking to him, the other day before, before he was killed. And it was just like, he was going places. Like, this wasn't one of, like, man, him? Like, nah, he was going places. I'm like, man, because he knew how to cook, and he was, for he finished culinary school, and, he was about to be a chef, all this shit. This is like one of those stories where, for it started from the streets, turned his life around. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one to put together his resume.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So Mark, so you basically almost had like 2 little brothers killed.
Yeah.
After that happened, did you talk to anybody? Like maybe
Um.
because I was in that similar situation, right?
Yeah.
When my nephew got killed,
Right.
I blocked everybody that I felt like wouldn't understand. Like a family member being murdered is different
Yeah.
from a family member dying naturally.
Yeah.
So
You
I ended
know.
up shutting out everybody that didn't share their experience of if I didn't know they had a family member that wasn't
Right.
killed, I wasn't talking to them because I felt like they couldn't relate to me. So I
Right.
blocked a lot of people out,
I,
and only people I would talk to is maybe my nephew, which was his brother, the one that got
mhm.
killed, his brother. So it was either my nephew or or maybe my niece, that was his cousin, but close to him. So I really only felt comfortable talking to people that shared my pain.
Yeah.
If I wasn't talking to them, I wasn't talking to anybody. So
Oh
were you in
yeah.
that same
I.
situation? You only talked to
Oh
those kind
yeah.
of people?
I felt that. Thank God for my ex, man, because we're still cool. We're still good friends. And I was the same way. I'm not talking to anybody, you know what I'm saying, that ain't the squad. Like, you know what I mean? And even talking to them is just more really just talking them down of doing some shit. So I ain't really have a chance to process, but I mean, she finally just kind of broke through because she was just on my case. You know what I mean? Making sure that I was all right. And that was
Okay,
the first
so your
person.
ex held you down.
Yeah, because I had to let the tears out. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really trying to hold them back, and they just burst, came out, and I cried in their arms. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Gotcha.
like, why him? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, when other people got killed that I knew, and it's not that I didn't love them either, right? But I knew what they were involved in. I knew, like, you know what I'm saying? I could take it a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I'm sad that they're going, but it's just like, yo, with that game, you understand what happens. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
this kid, that I mean, to me, it just wasn't fair. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
I'm mad at God about that. I'm like, no, you don't do that.
So
You don't do that.
so Mark, after you finally broke down and had the tears, did you start communicating with her even more about the situation?
I'm like, she helped me through it. You know what I'm saying? She helped me through it. Um, she definitely helped me through it. And she was just like, yo, like, and that's when I was really just reaching out to the guys or whatever, and just, you know what I mean? She was just like, yo, you can't have them go on a war path and start a war, you know what I mean, in Southwest Philadelphia.
Yeah,
That ain't
I
gonna
had
work.
to I had to talk I had to talk my nephew and
Yeah,
some family members out of doing stuff. So let me ask you,
yeah.
how long mentally before you felt free again? You felt normal. You felt your normal mental space. How long before you felt free again? Do you remember? 3 months, 5 months, a year?
Nah, you know what I mean? Shoot, I would say it had to be over a year, easy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, this is somebody like before he passed, I would talk to him like every day, every other day. You know what I'm
Did you
saying?
did you know when you felt that freeness?
You know what? I'm gonna say like this, man. Ironically, it's crazy because we were talking the NBA playoffs, and the Dallas Mavericks was his favorite team, and the Mavericks game came on, and Dallas was kicking ass that game. You know what I'm saying? They were kicking ass that game. I forgot who they were playing, but they were kicking ass. And this is before Luka. You know what I'm saying? But they were kicking ass this game. I don't, a game, and this one Dallas wasn't even all that good. You know what I mean? But they was beating some ass that night. You know
So
what I mean? Like,
that's
dang.
the is that the day that you felt the free
Yeah, it, it,
when
it
Dallas
felt
came
it
on?
felt it felt it felt good. It felt good because it felt like he was there with. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying? I'm
all right.
like, because that's what, like, man, because like anytime I was with him, and the game come on, he like, yo, OG, yeah, I mean, like, OG, let's run to Delisandro's, get a couple cheesesteaks. We gonna watch the game. And I just happened to be at Delisandro's, got a cheesesteak, and I didn't even know who was playing. I just turned on the game. But Dallas was just beating some ass, and it looked good doing it. And it felt like he was there with me, man. It was just like, it was one of those moments where it's gonna be okay.
All right.
Like it's gonna be okay.
The good thing is, one of the good things about that you had a person have as an outlet that you was comfortable around.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times where even when we're in a relationship or we have people, we still a lot of times as black men, when we're dealing with stuff that's really affecting us, we don't have even that one person that we will break down in front of, that we will show our vulnerability to. And that's one of my issues. Like even when I acknowledge it, but I still have an issue being vulnerable around people because I have trust issues with being vulnerable around people.
I understand that.
I have big time trust issues. Sean Stacks, what about y'all?
Before I get into let's acknowledge some of our comments. We got some great comments and we got some personal questions for all of us. So let me go to some of the comments we have. We have several I want to get into real quick. Okay. So we got one for Tina saying there are some words you don't use that are trigger words. Calm down, relax, etc. While a person is upset, what you want them to do is to look at you, get them to give you eye contact, tell them to breathe, and then ask them to tell you what's wrong. If I'm reading this correctly, Tina, if you're still out there listening, I look at this from a situation of the body language method and just being able to have the connection method, especially when you're dealing with a significant other or you're dealing with a friend or whoever the case may be. It's very important to be able to assess a situation and read the room. A lot of times, especially when you're dealing with someone who's going through some things, who's going through a lot of issues, we don't read the room well. The first thing we do, especially in our community, the first thing we do is like, man, y'all need to tighten up. Tighten that shit up. You all right? You be all right. We don't read the room well. Like and what Tina was saying, there's certain trigger words that may get that person to either shut down on you or to have them blow up on you. It can be either way. It can happen either way. So I want to kick this one to you first, Stacks, but I also have another question for you because we have a personal question directly for you. With you being in a relationship and you also having older kids, and again, you mentioned earlier that you tend to go on the deep end sometimes. Are there trigger words that get you to that space where you have to jump off the ledge? Have you experienced those trigger words? I know there's a lot, but what gets you?
Not particularly trigger words. But I know I have an issue in it. I have an issue with expecting me and others, if that makes sense. Not saying I'm perfect or anything like that, but as far as
what you mean expecting me and others by that statement, what you mean?
The expectation for someone to be punctual, the expectation for somebody to give me a logical response to a question I might ask them.
So
even if
you mean when you say you expect me and others, you mean you expect other people to respond like the way that you respond or to act how you act? Is that what you meant?
Kind of, sort of, and that's crazy in itself. I'm looking for an example. Like my 18-year-old son. There was an issue that happened here at my house, and I didn't like the response he gave me because it sounded fucking retarded. So I didn't respond back because I was so angry that I like, how dare you have a response? It wasn't even nothing disrespectful, but I just didn't like the answer he gave me.
So I think I follow you now. So you saying the answer he gave you, you would not have given that answer to your dad. So
absolutely.
Now you look at him like, yo, what the? Okay, all right.
But I went back and realized, because with my sons in particular, they're from previous relationships, so they were the custodial parents, summers, weekends, visits, and stuff like that. So they weren't per se raised up through the years continuously by me in the household, but I had unreasonable expectations for them because of the way me and my dad was. But it goes beyond just, you know, with my kids. You know, it's like it's kind of flying off the handle for something that's not that serious, that may not be that serious to the person I'm conversing with, but it's serious to me. If that makes sense.
Okay. So Nick had a question about how do you all deal with the day-to-day pressures of life? What tools and coping mechanisms have worked for y'all? Great question. I will start with my answer with this. For me, my coping mechanism is really basketball, physical activities, playing basketball, lifting weights, and listening to music. That's part of my coping mechanism. I love to listen to music that allows me to really think and process things. I think by listening to music and going to the gym, playing ball or lifting weights, it's my getaway. I go into like a bubble where I can really just internalize everything that's going on. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, unfortunately, we see a lot of bad news from day to day. And that stuff messes with you sometimes, especially when you're seeing it over and over and it's repetitive, happening to those who are the same hue as me. And sometimes you have to get away. You have to kind of get away from the reality of the world and go into a bubble. My bubble is really just putting the headphones on and listening to music that has meaning, listening to music that has lyrics that will resonate with me, whatever I'm going through at that time, or anything I'm feeling at that time. So my coping mechanism on the front end is sports, basketball, and lifting weights and playing music. But the other part of that is really just meditation. I've gotten to a habit of meditating a lot, especially when I'm just away. A couple of weeks ago, I went fishing with my father, and I was just sitting by the lake, and I just at one point I just closed my eyes and just meditated, and it felt good. It really felt good because I really needed to get away from the ills of everything that's going on out there, and that was the most serene and peaceful spot for me at that moment. And I had to thank God just for that moment, just to be with my father fishing and just sitting by the lake with the rod in my hand. So that was my coping mechanism. Merv, what is a coping mechanism that you use to deal with the day-to-day pressures of life? What tools do you use?
Oh, I go get some pussy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Feel you, boy. Feel you on that. I feel you on that.
Hey, Sean, come back, man.
Yeah, damn, them boys disappeared. Ah, man, y'all need to do that.
Sean, come. Sean.
Shit.
Sean, man, come back. But not. Hey. So listen, on some real shit, I just gave y'all one of my mechanisms. I laugh a lot, y'all. Like even in the worst of situations, if something just happened that's bad, I'll just kind of take a step back mentally, and I might just chuckle. It might be a fucked up situation, and I'll just sit back and I'll just chuckle and make a joke about it, and kind of have my own conversation with myself that it could be worse. It could be worse. So one of my coping mechanisms is laughter and looking at the silver lining of the situation. So jokes, joking, is one of my coping mechanisms. Also, being around. I'll go be around people that I feel is authentic and genuinely have my best interest in mind and care about me.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not that bad, I'm gonna be around my friends. Like I don't care what we're doing. Just being around people that I trust, that I feel have my back, ride or die. Being around them. If it's major, then I gotta go be around family. It's like on Paid in Full. It was Mitch. I think Mitch. Yeah, Paid in Full. Mitch was
You
like,
need to be around love.
yo, we gotta go out. I just gotta be around some love tonight, y'all. I just gotta be around some love tonight. It's shit like that. Like, so if they're my friends and I fuck with them like that, I call them family. All right. And then sometimes I have to go back home and be around my blood family, like, like my sisters, my nephews, my niece, my dad, and get re-energized. So joking is a coping mechanism. Gonna be around my friends. Like if something happened, I'd be like, yo, Stacks, Jay, hey, I need y'all to meet me somewhere. Like we're gonna talk about the situation. We're gonna make a joke about the situation, and then we probably put our heads together to come up with a possible solution for that situation. Also, I'm a big I done quoted several movies while doing this podcast. I'm a big movie TV show person, and I watch so many movies and TV shows because it allows me to escape mentally what the fuck I got going on. I will put myself in that movie and in that TV show to the point where that's I'm there and I'm not thinking about anything else, and I enjoy that. So just different things that I enjoy that will take me out of the space of the bullshit. So I like watching movies that's fucked up, especially that's more fucked up than the situation I'm going through. Yeah, I'll find a TV show, movie, some shit real quick. That's one of my coping mechanisms. But one of my biggest coping mechanisms is an internal conversation with myself that shit could be worse. Shit could always be worse, and somebody is always, no matter how bad it gets, there's somebody in this world that's more than likely in a worse situation than you. And I try to be one of the types where you got some people always looking at what they don't have. I really try to be grateful and look at what I do have, and I look at my blessings, and I use that to try to keep myself above water mentally.
Okay. So Nick just posted another question, great question, and I want to start with you, Mark, and I want to go to you, Stacks. How can Black women support Black men in changing, erasing the stigma around Black men and mental challenges? Great question. That's a really good question, man. So, what are your thoughts on that, Mark?
I'm gonna say like this, like to me, I'm like, yo, if you good with that person, you know what I'm saying? That's you off to the right start right there. You know what I'm saying? If you good with them, right? I'm like, eventually, you could get through that wall. And I mean, dealing with me, it's gonna be a wall there. It's just some shit I ain't talking about, right? But it don't mean I have to actually talk about, you know what I mean, for what it is. But it's just like, yo, she helping me relax. She's helping me, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of be at ease, be at peace. You know what I'm saying? She's not really asking so many questions about like, yo, what was it about and why I got you this way or whatever, because that kind of turns me off. You know what I'm saying? Because some shit, you don't be ready to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But I think she's kind of reading, you know what I mean, for my temperature, like, just let me make sure that he good. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure he good. We'll get to whatever it was later. You know what I'm saying? I would say the ladies, just make sure he good first. You know what I'm saying? He might walk in, he might be a little upset, you don't even really even know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, if you know that man, it's just like, man, did that man eat yet? You know what I'm saying? Did he have something, did he kick his shoes off yet? Did he relax? He got the remote in his hand, you know what I mean? For where's ESPN at and all that. You know what I mean? Did any of that shit happen? So before you ask questions, get that shit in place first. And then you probably can ease into what's actually going on. Because I'm like, he might have had a rough day on the job.
That's a great point.
You know what I'm saying? He might have, his people might have went through some shit. You know what I mean? He might have problems, you know what I mean, for real, you know, with taking care of mama, all of that. You know what I mean? Just make sure he in a relaxed state so you can get to that conversation. Not just, yo, what happened? He just walked in the door. What the fuck? Like, nah, I'm not even talking to you right now because I'm not even relaxed. Just let me look, just let me relax real quick. You know what I'm saying? Then talk to me. Don't talk to me as soon as I come in the door because I'm already mad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I see somebody, like if she walk in the door and she already pissed off, right? The first thing, I ain't gonna be like, yo, what happened? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, sweetheart, can I get you anything? I ain't gonna ask her what happened. Can I get you anything? You know what I'm saying? Straight up, you know. So first, you know what I mean?
Talk to him, Mark.
She might be like, I'm cool, right? I'm like, look.
Damn. That last statement you just real shit, that last statement you just made was very fucking profound. When you said if she walks in and you see her upset, you ain't gonna scream what happened. You like, your sweetheart, can I get you anything?
Yeah.
That's some big time shit.
And
right
I'm gonna
there.
tell you, you know, like
you got something to follow with that?
No,
I do.
But seriously though, like, you know, when something like that happens, it's just like, yo, you know what? I'm about to order from here. I say one of her favorite places or whatever. I'm about to order from here. You know what I mean? Tell me what you want, boom. You know what I mean? But they gonna get that together. You know, or whatever. So already she calming down because she about to eat good. You know what I mean? Now it's like, okay, just have a seat here. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, right? You know what I mean? And then, you know, just make sure that she good. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, she'll start to relax. She'll tell you, yo, man, them they was fucking with me at work or blah, 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 blah. And yo, your job ain't really ask no questions. Your job is just to listen. That's your job. Your job ain't really to do shit else. Don't ask her like, yo, man, like, well, how come the boss did this? Nah, this ain't the question part of it. This is the listening part, and you gotta go get that food for. That's all that's all it's there for. And that's it. You know,
so what you got?
It's everything Mark said, along with something that Sean said earlier, as far as surveying the situation. If I walk in the house and I'm upset, I might be on the phone with somebody screaming and stuff like that. It's everything that Mark said as far as listening. Just listen. Just let him go. Not only that, you have to realize that the man isn't always coming to you for a solution. Like, he's just venting. Like a lot of women will go into this mode like, okay, I gotta fix this. That's not always, I mean, sometimes that may be the case. If he don't offer a solution unless you are asked, because 9 times out of 10, that man is just venting. And be his peace. Try to be his pieces. But when we're talking mental health, as far as, you know, black relationships and stuff like that, just be his peace. It's already hard enough, you know, navigating these United States of America as a black man. Don't try to add to it with unnecessary stuff. You know, I'm not saying to give us an out if we on that bullshit, but just be his peace, be his ear, and only offer a solution when asked.
Can I chime in?
Go ahead.
Sean, can I chime in, or do we need to go to another comment?
No, go ahead. We good. Go ahead.
Okay. I learned something. This is not coming from me. Somebody told me. I learned this from somebody else. A female I used to, a lady, a female I used to date before. Don't be knowing which goddamn adjective to use. But female I used to date, I learned this from, and she was like, when somebody starts venting, you should always ask a question in the beginning of their vent, or when they're upset, and they start talking to you. Before you get deep into what you're saying, am I listening to listen, or am I listening to respond? And Nicole, that right there will go a long way, because sometimes, and men and women, but you asking for us. A lot of times, if we venting, sometimes we just need to get that shit off our chest. Get it off our chest. And a lot of times while we're speaking it, we're thinking of a solution already in our head while we're speaking. We just need to vent and let it go. And sometimes that's all we need. And then sometimes we're venting where we want your opinion, we want your ideas. So a simple question is like when we start venting, someone starts venting, you just ask like, so am I listening to you just to listen so you vent, or am I listening to you to respond? That simple question right there will put you ahead of the game on how to address that situation in the beginning while they're talking. Also, like I said, like everybody else said, kind of listening or surveying, because sometimes I'll be upset and I'm like, yo, just not now, and it'll still be pursuing, trying to find out what's going on, or they'll get upset because I'm saying, yo, not now. So surveying and also kind of paying attention, like a lot of people when they're venting or they're upset, if you're around them enough, you can pick up on what's the best way to handle that situation when they're going through something.
Oh, one more thing, I want to add, with this, right? Like, if your mate, they walk in, they're a little pissed off or whatever, right? You got it. I'm saying? Your job, for is to kind of make sure that they can be a little more calm, I'm saying, or whatever. Not that you tell them to be calm, but just, make sure that they okay. I'm saying? Because sometimes somebody walk through the door, you already pissed off, and then, you don't even know that you triggered them, and then they walking right back out the door. Oh, fuck this, and then slam the door, and you don't even know what they're going to do or what's going to happen to them. So especially, for a black man, if he's mad, he's venting, he gets in that door, try to make it calm for him, because you don't want him to walk out that door, because guess what? In this world today, for us, you don't know, if that's going to be the last time you see him or not. You know what I'm saying? So make sure, for it's a little bit more easy and a little bit more peaceful, at the home site. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you know what? I don't want him walking back out mad or whatever, because I worry about what he might do. I worry about what somebody else might do to him. I worry about, for him getting into any trouble or whatever. And when you're mad, you're not thinking rationally, right? Nothing you do is rational. Even when you're driving, you're not even driving rational.
Yeah.
When you're mad, right, you're running red lights and shit. You're doing all type of goofy shit. So you
driving faster than a motherfucker when you upset.
I'm gonna say like this: Fast and Furious don't got nothing on a black man mad behind the wheel. I'm dead serious, man. You know what I'm saying? So when for ladies, when you get that man, in your space, in your arms, make sure he good. You know what I mean? Because you don't want him walking back out the door mad as shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. It's not Mark, a good thing.
And Mark, and I'm asking Mark first, but this is for Stacks already said it. You ever been to therapy? Any kind of therapy?
No.
Okay, Sean, you ever been to therapy? Any kind of therapy?
No.
All right. I've been to couples therapy.
How was that?
I've never been one-on-one. Well, I don't know if you counted one-on-one. It was couples therapy, and then one of the segments was when I had therapy with him, by myself while she was outside. I don't know if you count that as a solo therapy, but I had couples therapy before. And Stacks, you said earlier that you had therapy, right?
Yeah. I can briefly go into it if we got time.
Huh?
I can briefly go into it if we got time.
Go ahead.
I'll make it quick.
Hold on. Sean, do we have any, before you go to Stacks, do we have any more comments of
no,
need to respond to?
Okay.
All right. Well, During my course in the during my time in the military, I deemed it necessary. Nobody told me to get, therapy, but I just felt off about some stuff that was going on. The first time I went to seek therapy, it was post deployment, not the Iraq. The funny thing is, the Iraq deployment was more intense than the Afghanistan deployment. Afghanistan deployment was kind of crazy because we were kind of stagnant on a base camp, and they were lobbing in fucking rockets and killing motherfuckers in their tents. So when I got back, any phone alarm or some shit like that would trigger me. It's a control thing. That's what it came to the conclusion of as far as my therapist, because it's nothing. I don't like flying because I'm not. Flying is much safer than driving. We all know that based on statistics. But I will drive. I'm still debating whether I'm gonna drive to my son's college graduation next year, and it's already in Nevada, because I don't like flying because I can't control the plane. Much like I can't control the Taliban lobbing fucking rockets into our base camp, killing people. So
I forgot about that. That's one of my coping mechanisms too. I'll jump in the car and put some gas in and find the music. I'll go drive for like 2 hours.
Now the one, believe it or not, that where I really opened up was my retirement therapy session. I got to the point I let it all loose. I was crying in that motherfucker. I told therapists that I thought my career was an absolute failure. Now to give it some context, I spent 20 years in the military. I made it to like 2 steps from being the highest enlisted rank you can make. If you make it up to E7 in any service, that's not considered being a failure unless you get court-martial right before you retire. But I was just letting everything out that I was feeling, because as great as I have always done, I always felt in my head that it wasn't good enough. That's just something that I had to work out. And the therapist literally had to talk me through, like, you got your family, you got this, you got that. Is everybody happy? This, that, the third. But I just couldn't. I mean, it could be considered a lack of confidence. But I just, even if somebody tells me, yo, Sergeant Brown, that was fucking outstanding, I'd be thinking in my head like, nah, I could have done this better. But I think what the therapist ended up telling me is that you gotta accept wins in your life. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you gotta accept wins. Like, you can't go through life thinking that nothing is good enough based on everything that you've done. But that's my therapy journey. As far as actually talking to a professional.
Okay, and they got so a lot of companies, because this is really the mental health and mental illness has become very, very strong in all the communities, because now that's part of, if you got a job with benefits, that's become a part of every job benefit now, where you have a certain amount of therapy sessions within your benefits that's company paid for. So if you got a job with benefits, make sure you read all your benefits. Make sure you find all the details, because most companies now have it where, with regards to any situation, that you can use the benefits. Find a person. You gotta find a doctor that's in the network, and they pay for it. It's company paid for it. So if you are having some kind of anything, if you're just feeling off, or sometimes you just need to talk to a motherfucker. Check out your job benefits, see if they got it where you got free therapy sessions that's paid for. I think some of them have like a limited number per year kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
we have that.
Please check that out and take advantage of your sources. That, I think that's another thing that we don't do. We avoid our sources, or we don't take advantage of our sources for whatever reason. That could help us through situations.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, you better have an outlet for, whatever you're going through, you know what I mean? Perhaps somebody to talk to, you know what I'm saying? But you have to have an outlet. Just as something, you know what I mean, for real that brings, you know what I mean, brings you peace. And if you don't have that, you know what I'm saying? You don't have those two things, it's gonna be rough. Like life gonna be rough. You gotta have somebody you could talk to. You have to have an outlet, you know what I mean, for real that is not destructive. If you have those two things, you know what I mean, you might be okay.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So, fella, let's get into the wrap up. Let's go around the horn, man. Let's start with you, Merv. What are your final thoughts for tonight, bro?
My final thoughts is, you never, and it's kind of similar to something that Mark said in one of his times he was speaking earlier. Like, you never know what somebody's going through, and a lot of times it's that person that's smiling the most, laughing the most, and seem like life is great, life is good. That a lot of times it be that person that's mentally dealing with the most shit inside. That one thing, one fuck up thing, could take them over the edge, and where that has lead to an increase of black males committing suicide. So you never know what someone's going through. You don't want to take that for granted. Um, and start randomly just asking your friends, your family members, maybe some coworkers that you gotten close to, anybody that you've developed some kind of concern for, or develop some form of, yo, I care about this person as a friend, a family member, as a coworker. Start randomly just going to them, being authentic, and be like, is everything okay? Or anything that you would like to talk about. You'd be surprised the first look they look at you, and you may think they're looking at you like you crazy or some shit, but it'll probably be a look of like, it could be, damn, how could you tell? Or how did you know? So I challenge people to, especially with your significant other, but I challenge the black community to start asking and being genuine. Are you okay? Or is there anything that you would like, anything you would like to talk about going forward? Just add that to your vernacular and your conversation when you're speaking with your cohorts, your family members, your friends, or anybody in the black community.
What you got, Mark?
Man, I'm gonna say like this: you can't keep things bottled up. I'm trying to tell you, you'll snap. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen. When people, I understand how this thing, people think it's new. Like, when it's like, oh yeah, it was a mass shooting or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nah. You know what I'm saying? This has been going, and people think, oh yeah, well, this isn't a black thing. Nah, you know what I mean? For it is. I had a guy who lived a couple blocks from me, right? You know what I mean? Black guy. And he got in an argument at the bar, right? Real nice guy. But he was just, whatever he was going through, you know what I'm saying? He got in an argument, he shot 3 people. You know what I'm saying? Now, that wasn't considered a mass shooting. That was considered, he was arguing with a guy, pulled out a gun. I don't look at it like that. He was going through something, and this was the most silliest argument, but it just got him to pull out that gun and shoot. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, I wasn't old enough at the time to know him like that, to talk to him like that. But he was just, Mr. Willie. Mr. Willie was cool. Mr. Willie, give you like $5, send you to the store, you keep the change. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that, man, just like y'all was saying earlier, you never know what somebody's going through, but I'm just like, man, a kind word, you know what I mean, hello, you know what I'm saying? You know, just you might never know what they going through, right? Some young boys I don't know what they actually going through all the time. But when I come through though, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, we gonna put that to the side. We gonna eat good, you know what I'm saying? And we just going, you know what I mean, enjoy this moment right here. Because you never know how far those little gestures might go in talking somebody off the ledge of doing something to somebody else or doing something to themselves. And don't think, you know what I mean, for any people who walk around here who don't have thoughts of just be like, you know what, I'm tired of life. I'm just going to end it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, man, that little thing, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, man, you know, you come around and it's just like, oh man, yo, you know, I was going through it, but I seen Merv today, man, and I was eating that motherfucker, cracks me up all the fucking time. You never know, you know what I mean, that's what that person needed, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get through that day. So just, you know what I mean, you know, when you come around, you don't have to know the problem. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean, be yourself, be there, you know what I mean, and enjoy that moment with them because that might help.
Gotcha.
Stacks, final thoughts, my man.
I'm gonna go a different route, man. I think that us as a community, we need to realize that we are strong beyond measure, but we don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay to show those vulnerabilities and get those mental health issues checked out. Just to give it some perspective, we have gone through so much trauma since our ancestors were brought over here to this foreign land. So many years ago. So went through slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, the Civil Rights Movement. Some of these things are still very prevalent today. If you don't really believe me, and as far as your strength goes, take this last year, I'd say last 14 months in particular. A lot of people don't realize that we went through a deadly pandemic that we haven't seen one since 1917. And on top of that, went through one of the biggest civil rights movements in world history at the same time, simultaneously. Now, although we have lost people by the wayside via both, as far as police shootings, you know, during protests and due to this pandemic, a lot of us are still here. We should be thankful for that. And we've made progress on both fronts. Now, while you use that strength, just make sure you take that time to take a knee and get that mental health checked out. Because when you get that mental health check out, that makes you even stronger than you were before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this topic is one of those topics that should always be discussed in great extent, because it allows us to be able to share some of our personal thoughts, our personal experiences, when dealing with mental health. And, you know, we just pretty much scratching the surface, because there are so many different layers and so many different levels to mental health, and just anxiety and anything that you're dealing with that may be adverse to the norm. We come from a society, especially in the Black community, we come from that area where we were always told to just be strong. You know, you think back to our forefathers who dealt with slavery, and they had to be strong in those times. They had to endure a lot of different things. So they never had the opportunity or the time to think about mental stress or you know, they had to think about the physical stress and the labor of being slaves. And, you know, of course, the generational curses or the generational blessings, however you want to look at it, it was passed down through our generation, because we focus more on the physical labor as opposed to the mental labor. Our people had to be strong back then. They had no choice. They had to endure a lot of crazy things that we didn't have to endure during our time. We're doing different things in a different light. We're seeing things in different light. Social media is showing those of our same hue getting killed just by putting their hands up. And they're getting killed from those who are protecting us, who sworn in to serve and protect us. And we see that very frequently, to the point where we're almost becoming desensitized to what's going on out there. And part of that really creates a mental stress habit for all of us, because now when you're riding around, you get pulled over by a cop. What goes through your mind? You're thinking, oh man, I've seen so many stories where
Right.
this person got killed, that person got killed, in front of families, and we have to think about those things. We have to navigate in this world. So Black men have to navigate in this world very, very differently than others, and we sometimes put the mental stress or that mental health on a back burner because we got other things we have to think about. So I thought tonight, fellas, was a great night for us to talk about those things, to be a little bit vulnerable. I'm glad you guys were able to share some of your personal stories, some of the things that you struggled with. I knew Murph for a very long time, and I remember when his nephew passed away. I remember Merv was playing, he was posting things on Facebook, songs that he was listening to. And I peeped that. I'm like, man, that brother is really hurting. I knew it because I felt it, because I feel the same way. When I'm going through a mental stress or mental breakdown, anxiety, I play music to filter out how I'm feeling. Never went to counseling, so I commend Stacks for seeking counseling, and to being able to check in to get his mental state corrected. I've never seen that. I've never done that. I'm not saying that I won't one day, but my therapy is my faith. My therapy is music. My therapy is my family, my wife, my daughter. When I'm tight, my daughter gets really, really tight. And I see it, I feel it. Like she inherits a lot of my emotions, and so does my Wiz. And so I lean on them a lot for support, from organic support. But I do want to say this in closing. If you are struggling, if you're dealing with anything out there from a mental perspective where you don't have a circle, like Merv stated, or like Stack stated, or like even Mark stated, if you don't have a circle that you can lean on to share some of the things that you are stressing with or some things you're battling, seek counseling. It's okay to seek counseling. It's okay to have therapy. It's okay to find outlets to allow you to express the things that may be bottled up in you. I remember reading something a very long time ago by James Baldwin when he was saying that the stress of a Black man is so pent up that when it comes out, it's almost like releasing ages and ages of depression, ages and ages of stress, and ages of just oppression. And a lot of times we hold those things in and it comes out the way we probably never wanted to come out. So seek help, seek advice, find a circle, find solitude in the things that make you feel comfortable with releasing that frustration, that mental anguish and that anxiety, and be blessed and be safe out there. Support your mental health. If you know someone who's going through it, we dropped some great links in the chat tonight. Please go back and review those. We are posted on our page as well for you all to have access to it, especially for those of you who want to share that information with someone else who really needs it. So again, thank you all for watching tonight. Thank you all for the comments tonight. We had some really, really good comments. Shout out to Timothy Wright. Thank you, sir, for your comments. Your comments were really spot on. So thank you for sharing and opening up to us. Thank you to Blackjack TV, Blackjack TV Prime, Mile High Radio, YouTube, our Facebook page, to the team, to the guys, my brothers, Becca, Tina, the Lullas. Shout out to the whole family, Tayson, Nick J, everybody who's rocking with us from day one, and those who are rocking with us moving forward. Thank you all for the support. We appreciate it. And again, take care of each other. Be safe this weekend for Memorial Day weekend. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Salute.
And don't forget that X album coming out on Friday. Exodus. It's coming out.
Oh, right.
Support that family. Peace, fellas.
Peace out, y'all.
Yo.